obviously the reigning champions. What kind of challenge do they present to these guys?
Yeah, well, they're a really deep team. Everybody in this league knows how good they are. It's a one-day prep for us, so got to turn the page from Atlanta really fast. And coming here yesterday, I thought we had a great scout. Went over a lot of things. Were on the court for a while, walking over stuff. So obviously not a lot of live action, things you just have to walk through and then read your scouting report and watch film and go out there and execute. But they're deep. I think Stewie at the 4, and obviously the way they can shoot the ball 1 through 5 is something that we're gonna have to close out, get our hands up. There's gonna be certain people we live with shooting it a little bit more. So as long as those people are shooting the ball, I think we'll be in a good position.
Caitlin, I know you guys approach every game the same, but it's the teams that were the semifinalists last year were the teams that kind of everybody had the most trouble with. Does this seem like a really good first test in terms of that level of play?
Yeah, I mean, this is the reigning champion, and probably the favorite to do it again. So it'll be a great gauge for us to see where we are. It's early in the season, and they're not going to be where they're going to be in, October too. So, it's both ways there. I think everybody's trying to figure out things. They have a few different pieces than they had last year. So that'll be different, but, overall, we should know the scout. We should know who they have on their team, and if you can't get excited for these type of games, then you probably shouldn't be playing basketball. But I think our group is ready to go, and it's a really fun challenge for us. I think the crowd is going to be great. It's a great Saturday game for us, so we're excited about the challenge.
Caitlin, you're a pretty good rebounder. I'm just curious, when was that instilled in you, and just your ability to anticipate where the ball is going to ricochet sometimes? How did you get?
Yeah, I think you just try to read the ball off the rim. I think that's when we're our best in transition, is when I get the rebound off the rim and then I can push. It presents a lot of matchup problems off of a missed shot. You're not getting to your matchups. We're playing fast. We're playing in transition. That also is really hard to get to. So that's my favorite. I try to hunt the ball off the rim. I'm not the best person at boxing out. I could probably improve in that area a little bit, but I think it just comes with playing basketball for a really long time. You understand angles and reading. I can usually read the shot off somebody's hand, whether it's short or long, or whether it looks good. Obviously, I misjudge it here and there, and then you go down and chase it. And more than anything, I think it gets us started on a really good offensive break. So that's the best part about it.
I mean, you touch on it a little bit, but how much do you view a game like today as a chance to make a statement versus just kind of treating it as any other game?
I mean, I don't think any of us view it as making a statement. I mean, sure, there's certainly that opportunity if you come out and play like we're capable of. I think we could, have a great chance to win this game, but, this is game 4. There's 40 games after this too. So just going game by game, even possession by possession, you can't look too far ahead. You can't focus too much on what is our end result going to be today. Obviously, that's hopefully with a win, but you got to approach it game, possession by possession, quarter by quarter, and that's what's going to help us win at the end of the day. But obviously, this would be a huge win for us versus the reigning champs, but not all is lost if not.
Caitlin, when you're face guarded like you are, or have been at least the last couple of days, what are kind of the things that are going through your mind during all that, where you probably want to be involved, but also how do you find the right combo when that is going on like we've seen?
Yeah, I think I conceded a little too much to Atlanta in the last game. The first game, they guarded me the same way, and I was a little more aggressive. I think we need to do a better job of getting me the ball in transition, whether somebody's there or not. I think there's a fine balance of playing me off the ball and also getting the ball in my hands. That's when I'm the best in transition. Everybody knows that. I'm very open about that. So I think there's times to pick and choose, and we're learning that as a team of how we can be more successful in that area. I think we really lacked in early drags, early step-ups in the second game versus Atlanta. The first game we didn't really do it well either. I didn't think we really exploited them for playing drop coverage. So just little areas where we need to read the game a little bit better, and it starts with me, of telling my teammates come here, come get me, come screen me. I think just moving with better pace too, that's harder to guard. A lot of times I was just standing there, and standing there is okay, is good sometimes. There's a lot of plays me and Steph went back and watched, and just by the way I moved out of the play, it gave my teammate a wide open layup or gave my teammate a wide open shot. So there's a fine balance of picking and choosing, but at the end of the day, I have to be involved. I have to find ways to cut, to move, to get open, to screen. And there's a lot of things in our offense that aren't quite clicking yet, and it's going to take some time, and it'll be a lot easier once we really figure that out. But I think just being assertive and getting the ball a little bit more in transition and cutting hard, being a good screener, and all that will open up for me.
Yeah, what are some of those things that Sydney Colson, it really looked like you guys were having a moment on the bench, especially in that first half. Just some of those things that she was able to pass down to you and really just kind of get your mind focused on.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sid knows this league as good as anyone. She's, won in this league. She's been around a good amount of time, so she understands. She played a lot against a lot of these players that are playing in this league. She knows, what they're good at, what they're not good at. So just communicating, and obviously, she's been a point guard. She knows what she's seeing, so it's really nice to have that. And I think for us, like, Sid has just been a constant. Like, she's always level-headed. Whether things are good, whether things are bad, she's still the same exact person. Whether we lost to Atlanta at home, we got back in the locker room and people were pretty defeated, but Sid was right there picking people up, and like she's like, it's only one game, like, and I think that just speaks to her experience in the league. Like, she's won championships. They never had a perfect record. There's going to be games you lose. There's going to be learning moments, and that's where we really rely on Sid the most. But also, she came in and played big minutes in that second Atlanta game in the third and fourth quarter for us. So it's somebody that we all count on too.
Caitlin, you've talked in the past about how exciting it's been to have the Pacers and the Fever just sort of supporting each other through this special run. I know that Tyrese Halliburton gave the Fever a shout out after last night's win. He gets that, speaking of face guard, he gets that full court face guard sometimes the same way that you do. With both of you guys getting so much attention from defenders, what does just, having him as a sounding board and just as a friend in this
I was actually texting him after the last Atlanta game. We have a group chat and we talk in it quite a bit about all sorts of different stuff. But like, teams do the same thing to him. They want to take the ball out of his hands early in transition. And he says the same thing. Like, it's just a fine balance of finding that and working with your teammates and helping them understand. But like, he plays out of early drags. He plays out of ball screen. That's why he's really good. He's a really good passer out of the ball screen. It's just really, really hard to guard with the weapons around him. And I think at times, the way we can play can be very similar to how the Pacers play, especially with the depth we have and the depth that they have. But, he's, first of all, one of my good friends, but also, like, it's nice being able to just talk basketball and, like, understand each other, but also we keep it fun. It's not anything deep, but it's fun to talk about, too.
Caitlin, you guys got Sophie back in the last game, and Sophie and Lexi had the best plus minus on the team coming off the bench. What kind of different looks do they provide when they're on the floor together?
Their energy. It's different with them on the court. They provide energy. They're hustle players. They make the winning plays constantly. They never take a possession off. Both of them. Lexi's, probably one of the better defenders in this league. She's in your space. She's diving on the ground. She's getting nailed on screens, and Sophie's the same way. But they're just two very selfless players at the same time. They don't care if they score. They don't care how many minutes they're going to play. Whatever Steph is asking them to do, they're going to come in. They're going to do it with energy. They're going to communicate. They're going to cheer for their teammates. And those are the type of teammates you want, type of people you want on your team. And both of them have been tremendous. So it was great to see Sophie back in the lineup. I think she really gave us a boost that we were missing there in the first Atlanta game.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Thanks.